Hey guys, it's Mima. If you clicked on this video, it's because you are trying to figure out what order to take the CPA exam in. Now, at the beginning of my CPA exam journey, I searched for this information and I didn't find a whole lot of luck. I didn't find a whole lot of definite answers. So I feel like there's two strategies to think about when you are trying to figure out what order to take the CPA exam in. You have to think about yourself, okay? So are you the type of person that needs a boost of confidence? Or are you the type of person that just wants to tackle the hardest exam first so that you have more time to take that exam? So there's two different strategies that I'm going to describe to you. The first strategy is taking the hardest exam first. And by hardest, I mean the exam with the most content. Now, everybody knows that FAR has a reputation of being that exam. So FAR, literally, the amount of material to study for in FAR is like twice the amount that's in auditing and BEC. Regulation has some, but FAR is like a beast, you know. So taking the hardest exam first, that strategy is beneficial because if you don't pass it the first time, you have your rolling window, your 18-month window does not start until you pass the first exam. So if you take FAR first and you don't pass, that means that the time clock is not ticking yet. So you have the opportunity to restudy and take it again. So, I mean, realistically speaking, I'm not even trying to deter anyone, but it may take you like 9 months, 6 to 9 months just to study for FAR. So some people I've heard it's taking them like a year to study for FAR. So in that case, you would want to take FAR first in order to have the most time to study, because the material is so large, the amount of material, and it's all your financial statements, and you need to be able to put together all of those financial statements from scratch on that exam. It's so much content that you have to tackle with FAR. So that method may work for you. If you're the type of person that wants to just, you're starting this journey and you don't want to be defeated, because taking the hardest exam and not passing could leave you feeling defeated, you know, and discouraged. If you need a boost of self-esteem regarding the CPA exam, you may want to take the exam that you have the most experience in, because that is the exam that you're most likely to pass on your first try. And the feeling of passing that first exam is so invigorating and so encouraging, and that could lead you, like send you on a momentum for the other parts of the exam that you need to take. So it could propel you to really be motivated and focused to study for the other parts of the exam. So I'll give you actually the order of exams to take. If you want to take the hardest first, I would suggest you do FAR and take as much time as you need to pass, you know, because of the content. If you've been out of school for a long time, I would suggest that you take FAR first and you use that extra time to pass that exam. And then, you know, the rest of the exams, auditing, you know, depending on how much experience you have in auditing, regulation, depending on how much experience you have in tax, and BEC. I would be careful about placing BEC last, because BEC has the written component of it, and some people struggle with that. I did not. I used my CPA review to practice writing. Some people skip over that and just enter the exam. That's the first time, you know, they're writing. But I actually had a really decent review program, and I learned to use the keywords. That's the trick with BEC when you're doing the writing component. the writing component, whatever whatever you're supposed to do or whatever the scenario is, you have to use the keywords in it, the technical terms. You know, you can't like try to put it in layman's terms or something like that. So that's the order that I would suggest if you are trying to tackle the hardest exam first. I would say do FAR, auditing, regulation, and then BEC. If you would like to take the exam that you have the most experience in first, of course, that's to your discretion. You know, you have to think about personally, what have you done, you know, in your career, or if you're, you know, maybe you're a recent grad, what classes did you recently finish? And then I would take the exams in that order. But the reason being is to give you the momentum of passing and the boost of confidence that you need to propel you to finish taking the exams and pass all of them. You can do it. Just keep at it and be determined. I passed the CPA exam and it took me 24 months. My personal approach was different. I'll be honest with you guys. I did the experience one, and it backfired on me. I started out with, what did I start out with? I took auditing and BEC first, and I passed both of them. Then I did regulation. I had to take regulation twice. Then I got stuck with FAR. Regulation, I'll be honest, I took regulation twice because I did not study the first time around like I should have. It was during tax season and I got overwhelmed, and I didn't put in the hours of studying like I should have. I think for regulation, you know, I had estimated that I needed to study like maybe 120 hours, and I believe I didn't even study like half that. I think I studied like 40 hours. So the second time around when I did it, I did track my hours and I did put in the study hours that was needed to pass, and I passed the second time. With FAR was just very difficult for me. Of getting the volume of information. I put in the study time, but I did not get through the course that I was taking before the exam. Even after I passed, I completed like 60 or 70% of the course that I was taking. But the volume of FAR is so huge. I mean, you try to, you know, cover all of the information, but it's just a lot to do that. So I just got as much as I can. The first 3 times I took it, I didn't even finish the exam because of the simulations. The simulations were very time consuming because they all had like multiple attachments. Like the minimum number of attachments that I had was like 4, and I only got 1 research question. So that FAR was the exam that I struggled with, and I waited until the end to take it. I should not have. I really should have taken FAR first, but I was intimidated by FAR, I'll be honest. I felt like if I took FAR first and I didn't pass it, it was going to discourage me from taking the other parts. So I did what I needed to do in order to keep my belief in my ability to pass high. And so that's why I waited till the end. Because by the end, if you've taken 3 exams and you've passed 3 exams and you only have 1 exam left, you're going to pass it. It's just a matter of strategizing. So even though I had to retake 2 of the exams because my score expired, I still had the confidence to retake those exams because I knew if I passed before, I would pass again. And the same thing with FAR. I knew, if I pass these 3 exams, I can pass FAR. It's just a matter of planning it. And when I did pass FAR, what got me on the other side of passing was actually managing my time. I set a time period for each testlet, and I did not go over. If my time ran out on a test split, like for instance, a multiple choice, I set aside 45 minutes for each multiple choice test split. And if the 45 minutes ran out, boom, I was moving on to the next test split. I did not go over my time. The same thing with the simulations. I think I set aside 20 minutes, I can't remember precisely, for each simulation, and I did not go over. I did as much as I could within those 20 minutes, and once my time was up, I moved on to the next one. Because what I did not want to do was get to the last simulation and have no time at all to work on it. So the strategy that I used was more so the second strategy, taking an exam that I felt like I had the most experience in, and I was going to pass. So I hope this helps. If you were trying to figure out which exam to take first, the two options I gave you were to either take the hardest exam first so that you have more time to study for that exam without the 18-month window clock ticking, or to take the exam that you have the most experience in so that you can basically, almost guarantee to pass, and that will give you the boost of, self-confidence that you need to carry you through your CPA journey. Best of luck on this journey, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.